Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Fighting Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network tonight with your boy Matty B on the call. And see, I'm giving you energy. Something that the Phillies haven't done in 3 games. Tonight, the Phillies lose 6-0 and get swept on out of New York. The Mets, who were lying on death's door, face down in the gutter a mere 3 nights ago, have now rejuvenated themselves and have rekindled their quest to win the National League East. Thanks in part by the lackluster, uninspired, unfundamentally sound Philadelphia Phillies. The lead in the NL East is now down to 4. Is it time to start panicking, Philadelphia? Is it time? Well, I guess let me backtrack that. I'm not going to say it's time to panic. Is it time to just accept it? Accept what this baseball team is, and it's not a champion. If they could not get themselves up for this series, I said it over and over and over again heading into this series, and we all talked about it during the Washington Nationals series. Okay. Nationals are out of the way. Here's the big one. We had an opportunity to go up to New York and put that dog down, and we failed. And we failed in the worst possible way. Phillies get swept 6-0 in another lethargic, uninspiring, not fun game to watch. Nolan McLean had his way with the beleaguered Philadelphia Philly offense tonight. Phillies couldn't do anything. They didn't get their second hit into the 8th inning. And it just, I don't know where you go from here. And I don't know how you get excited. And what I mean by that is I'm not saying you can't get excited for the rest of the season. Yes, the Phillies are making the playoffs. It would have to be a catastrophic collapse in order for that not to happen. They're getting in. But does this leave you with any sort of hope that this baseball team can play in these high-pressure situations and high-pressure moments? Again, said it over and over again. The fans at Citi Field treated it like a playoff series. The New York Mets treated it like a playoff series. The only ones who did not come into this series thinking it had any sort of importance were the Phillies. And they paid the price for that. And they lost to an inferior team. I mean, the Mets are inferior to the Phillies on paper, but what have we also been talking about for the last 4 years? This team has been critically underperforming on all levels for 4 years. And here we go. We can smell the fall in the air. We can smell playoff baseball in the air. And what do the Phillies do? Well, they turtle up. And they go running back to Citizen Bank Park tomorrow night, hopefully, to get this thing back on the track against the Atlanta Braves. What's going on, everybody? I'm glad you're joining me here tonight on the It's a Wrap Sports Network on the Fighting Final. Your boy, Matty B, reporting a loss, 6-0. I don't really – how do I break this thing down, man? You know what? Here's the thing. I don't know if I have to break it down. I've been breaking it down for every game for the past 3 years. It's the same MO, man. It's the same friggin' MO. You don't have to listen to me tonight. Just go back to listen to any one of the 1,000 Fighting Finals we've done, and you just insert Mets, and you got the postgame show. This team is extremely uninspiring. They don't seem to have any kind of goddamn fire at all. Nothing, no passion, no emotion. And it's not May, by the way. It's late August. This series might be one of those defining moments that you talk about come the end. This series we could look back to this series as, you know what? We should have known it then. Phillies lose 6-0. Stallworth's first one in the shoot tonight, saying thanks. Oh, this was embarrassing. Yeah, it was. But Stallworth, again, and I hate to be the bearer of this. I hate to be the I told you so fairy in the room. I really do. I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, what has this team shown you over the course of, and I'm going to go back to 2022, that tells you that they were ready for this moment? What have you seen from this team? Because it's relatively the same team, despite the controversies from the homers out there saying, no, this is not the same team. It is, because it's the same result against the same team that they're playing. It is the same team. So, yes, it is embarrassing in its nature. But is it surprising that the Phillies went down like this? Went into a series where they had an opportunity to put the Mets in the ground. And they come up not short, criminally short. Embarrassing, yes. Surprising, maybe not. Maybe that's what I'm trying to search for here. What's going on, Mickey? How are you tonight? Ricky Deal says, Matt, what is wrong with the Phillies? Ricky, have you not been listening to me for months/years? I mean, I don't think we're going to unearth any new evidence tonight. It's the same. It's the same MO. Where is the offense? I would love to go and tell you the Phillies were critically bad with runners in scoring position tonight. I would really love to, but I really can't, because they were only over 3. And that really was because of what happened in the 8th inning. And if you really want to see Ricky, if you honestly want me to get into details about what is wrong with this team, go watch the top of the 8th inning. Go watch the Phillies get runners on first and third with nobody out and come out of that with nothing. Go and watch that, and that will fill in all your blanks about what's wrong with the Phillies, because that's the same problem we've been having all for the last 4 years. They don't come up big in any type of big base moment. They don't come up big in any kind of big pressure game situation. This team's a bunch of frauds, man. They are a bunch of frauds. And I'm saying it. They're frauds. In Philadelphia, you better get ready. You better get ready for another letdown. You better get ready for another October swoon. And yes, they're probably going to rip off 15 straight wins now, and everyone's going to get right back up on the hype train. But I'm telling you, come the time when them leaves start coming down off those trees and the lights shine bright once again, and I don't care if it's the Mets. By the way, 0-6 on the season at Citi Field, and I don't want to hear the House of Horror crap. It's such a loser goddamn excuse. It's not even funny. You go play where they tell you to play, and you go win where you play. I don't want to hear House of Horrors and they can't play at Citi Field or Oracle. That's not what champions do. Champions find a way to overcome, right? Not try to find excuses to get yourself to sleep at night. That's what homers do. When the lights shine bright again in October, I don't care if it's against the Mets, if it's against the Dodgers, Padres, Reds, whoever, it's going to be the same result. It's going to be the same result. This team is not, they're not good. They're a collection of good players that cannot figure out how to play interlinked with each other. Again, I am not breaking new ground here. It's the same freaking rant over and over and over again I've been on for 4 years. But people want to tell me this is a different team. Well, 3 of the different pieces that we did have are no longer with, or 2 of them are kind of gone, and then one's still out there trying to play. It's the same team, man. And I don't know why. I don't know why people are surprised. I don't. I don't know why I don't know why everybody's surprised by the outcome here tonight. I honestly don't. I honestly do not. Alec Bohm, thanks for changing the Mets season. Oh, there you go. Yep, with the bitching about the microphones. Yep. Now they got little memes running around the stadiums. They dress the microphones up with smiley faces. Yep, good job, Alec. You bitched and you moaned about the microphone, and now here we go. I'm done with him, by the way. Alec Bohm's got to go away. Go away. I had an interesting conversation on my show last night with Jack Fritz, WIP. Thank you again, Jack, for coming on. And we went a little bit around about why Justin Crawford is not playing for this baseball team. And Jack says that we have enough, and there's no need for him at this particular moment in time. I don't know what Jack's seeing. The outfield's a mess. Max Kepler is out there stealing money from the Phillies. Jordan Romano's stealing money from the Phillies. Jack Ross was stealing money from the Phillies, but they cut him. And I'm done with Alec Bohm. I'm done with Nick Castellanos. I'm pretty much done with this team. I am at a point, and I know Dave Dombrowski is sort of like hanging out in the shadows right now, and not a lot of people are sort of looking at him. His day will come, obviously, here in about a month. His day will come, or maybe a month and a half. His day will come when he has to be accountable for what he has not done to get this team over that hump. And God help the Phillies if they decide to run it back one more time. God help them. God help them if they're taking advice from Daryl Morey and the Sixers. Oh, it's all right. Just one more year, you'll get it to click. Oh, yeah. Sweeping changes must come. Sweeping changes. I don't know how you do it. I mean, you can maneuver some of that. I think Alec Bohm is tradable. I think he can go somewhere else. I think Nick Castellanos is tradable. I think change has to happen, man. It really does. It really does. Get rid of Rob. Yeah, I mean, that's the default. We always go back to get rid of Rob Thompson. And I'm not sitting here telling you you're wrong, Star Wars. I really ain't. The team is definitely a reflection of their manager. No emotion, no life, nothing. Sleepwalking through possibly the three most important games to date of the season. And now they've made this thing a lot more closer. As I said, they've rejuvenated the Mets. The Mets were on their last leg heading into the series. And the Phillies just needed to not lose 2 out of 3 or get swept. Hell, I would have taken losing 2 out of 3 over getting swept. And the worst has happened, man. And you got to tip your cap to the Mets, man. Again, I'm sure most of you watched it. I watched it. The Mets played every single game like it was October over the last 3 nights. Now, can the Mets keep that up through the rest of the season? You know, we'll keep an eye on that. They're coming here in a couple weeks. We'll see how that all works out. Can the Mets keep that up, that intensity into October? We'll see. But for these last 3 nights in late August, the Mets played it like it was a playoff series. The fans who came out to Citibank to support the Mets and the Phillies actually played it like it was a playoff series. The only entity inside that ballpark that did not play it like a playoff series were the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies played it like it was a mid-April afternoon, and they were, 147 more games left to go in the season. That was the only thing, the only team or the only entity involved in this series that did not play it or attack it like it was not a playoff series. And unfortunately, that was one of the more important parts that we needed to work. Come on. Come get them. Mets fans are here, and they deserve to be. So last night you tell us that Andrew Painter isn't ready. How about bringing him up, and let's friggin' see. Nolan McLean had good numbers in the minors and looks like Cy Young. Shake it up. Okay, so first of all, I'll continue to say Andrew Painter isn't ready. Nolan McLean and Andrew Painter are not linked anywhere. All right. They're 2 different people operating out of 2 different organizations, dealing with 2 different sets of physical issues. Andrew Painter's coming off of freaking Tommy John surgery. All right. Andrew Painter has been struggling up and down throughout his AAA season. Andrew Painter is not the reason why we're not winning baseball games. Listen, Taijuan Walker tonight wasn't great, had that bad inning. But I'll take the performance of Taijuan Walker when you have an offense on the paper that looks like this offense. It is not the pitching that's the problem. I don't understand what you guys are seeing. The pitching has been serviceable. They can't hit. They are a terrible offensive baseball team. They lack fundamentals, they lack plate approach, and they cannot hit with runners in scoring position. It has nothing to do with Andrew Painter being here or not being here. It's the offense. It always has been the offense. Andrew Painter's day will come. He's going to get his time. This is not the time. I'll take what Taijuan Walker gave you tonight. It wasn't great, but it was serviceable. It wasn't $18 million a year, but it was serviceable. You should be able to plate more than 0 runs for your pitcher. Nolan McLean is a great story for the Mets, but he's a separate person than Andrew Painter. Again, operating in a different organization than Andrew Painter. And I don't know and maybe he has had Tommy John surgery, but I'm not aware of Nolan McLean's Tommy John recovery timeline. I am aware of Andrew Painter's. Andrew Painter's not going to do nothing for this team at this time. If Andrew Painter can hit, can we DH him? Is he the next Ohtani? Then yes. DH him, bring him up here so he can bat. Because that's what I need. I need hitters. There's enough pitching on this team to make a run, even without Wheeler. Again, I don't understand. What do you think Andrew Painter's going to do for the 2025 Phillies? Is he the missing piece to get us over the top? Again, if he could bat, yes, maybe I would be okay with that. But he's not. Andrew Painter's day will come. Probably next year. But Andrew Painter's doing nothing for the 2025 Phillies. This team is absolutely good. I agree with you 100%. The Phillies stink tonight. Come on, Star Wars. They've been stinking it up for a while now. They also will be one and done in the playoffs. I agree, Michael, and that's the biggest sort of prognostication I can take from this series, man, is that they're not ready. This is not a championship team. It's a team that can win a lot of games, but they need to win the right games. I would have taken getting swept out by the Nationals over getting swept out by the Mets. I would have taken losing 2 out of 3 to the Nationals and coming up there and battling your ass off against the Mets and losing 2 out of 3, whatever. But they did not battle at all. They battled for an inning yesterday when Bader got them back into the thing and tied the game up at 5. That is it. Out of 3 games, out of 9, 18, 27 innings, 1 inning of inspired baseball from this team. Or a third of an inning, actually. Not even 1. A third of an inning. It's a lot to do with me at this point of how they are losing. And you're right, man. They're one and done. I thought for sure Harper would hit one of the meaningless homers down 6. I saw he's wearing like a charm bracelet tonight, man. I listen. Hey, he doesn't miss the moment. All right. He doesn't miss that. He's wearing some sort of pink necklace with charms on it. You guys see that? Oh man, the free for all started. I predict they don't even make the playoffs. I don't think. Listen, if that happens, and you're right, and they do fall out of playoff contention, oh my God, oh man. I mean, look about. We're going to go over the standings here in a minute, but I mean, is it completely out of the realm of possibility that they don't make the playoffs? No. Especially after what just happened. But I don't think it happens. I think the Phillies find their way in. And if it's not through the division, which I'm not sold 100% that they hold on to this division. I mean, they're going to come against the Braves. Another big 4-game set against a team that's in the grave. And if they don't sweep, honestly, they got to sweep. They got to sweep the Braves, and they got to do it with barbarism. I mean, they got to just clobber the hell out of the Braves over the next 4 nights. I don't want to see no 2-1 games. No, I need to see 13-1. 8-0. That's what I need to see from this team against the Braves. I need that answer. But if they come out and they don't win 3 out of 4 from the Braves, or if they don't sweep the Braves, or if they, God forbid, split or lose 3 out of 4 or get swept by the Braves, who are the Mets playing? The Nationals or the Marlins are playing over the next weekend? Yeah, man, it could get bad. It can get real bad. The Mets are living rent-free in their heads. I don't know, man. Someone's living rent-free in their heads. This team goes as Kyle Schwarber goes. That's fact. He's in a slump, and the team looks comatose. Well, that can't be. And if that is the truth, then we might as well just go home, man. I mean, I need more. If that's the case, I'm not going to agree with that statement at all. I am going to agree with the comatose part, but I don't think it has anything to do with Kyle Schwarber. His team's been asleep most of the year, and Schwarber's had himself a hell of a year. So I disagree with that in its essence, but I do agree with the comatose part. but I don't think Schwarber has absolutely anything to do with it. Let's before I, oh man. All right. I lost my train of thought. Okay, let's go to the box score. But before we do, let's remind everybody that this show, along with a bunch of others here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, could not happen without your support. So please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. We need all your help. I need your help, man. Someone's got to help me get through these nights and these sessions. But we also have a lot more to offer than just the fight and spinal, because at this rate, we're going to be saying goodbye to baseball here soon. And thankfully, football will start this weekend as the Penn State Nittany Lions will battle the Nevada Wolfpack, the number 2 Lions against the number 85,000 Nevada Wolfpack. And here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, the Happy Valley Huddle, our official Penn State football postgame show, will make its debut on Saturday at around 6:30-ish. When that game ends, Mike Lauro will be your guide through week 1 and beyond, hopefully all the way to the BCS championship game sometime in January. So make sure you're with Mike every week starting on Saturday, as we'll be rolling down Penn State Nittany Lion football for the next, again, hopefully about 17 weeks. And next week, the big week, Philadelphia Eagles will get ready for their title defense, and the quintessential Eagle pregame show will make its return for its 6th season. The Birds Blast with WIP's Kyle Quinn and me, I am the other host of that show, will debut on Tuesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. And we'll get you set for not only what's going to happen to Eagles boys, but how we look at the NFL in 2025 and what our predictions will be for said league. So make sure that you're tuned in. And then after the Cowboys-Eagle game on Thursday night next week, make sure you're back here for the Birds Flyby, the official postgame show of the Philadelphia Eagles, or our official postgame show with Philadelphia Eagles here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And then tomorrow night, we do have the Fight and Spinal. Here is your Fight and Spinal lineup for the Brave series. Mike will get you tomorrow night, Al on Friday, and I'm coming at you back-to-back on the weekend. How did I get Labor Day weekend duty again? But I got you Saturday and Sunday wrapping up that series. So we'll kick that off tomorrow night after the Phillies and Braves game 1. And then after or before that, you'll have the Attacking Third, our Union show with Mike and Pat. And then Friday night at 10:30, the wraparound returns with potentially Pat Bernard. And we talked about the other shows. And then on Sunday morning, of course, your Sunday mornings will never be the same with the P&M and the AM program every Sunday at 9. And then new next week as well, for all you people who like to kind of place some wagers on these things, props, locks, and parlays with Mike Lauro, the no pressure sports betting show for entertainment purposes only here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with Mike Lauro. So make sure you're tuned in. That show will be seen in its entirety throughout the football season. It'll be a football season type show. So make sure you get in on the ground floor starting next week. Next Wednesday at 7, I believe, is when they debut. Let's head over to the box score because I got to do this. Phillies on the night, no runs, 5 piddly hits, no errors. Mets 6 runs on 12 hits, no errors. I'm not even going to bother talking offensive. I mean, Bohm did have himself a 2-for-3 night. I guess the only bright spot in the offense. Everyone else, you scattered 3 other hits, and then everybody took an offer. Max Kepler, though, got a hit late. His batting average is up to a healthy 216 as he's leading the way. But I'm not going to really bother with getting into the offensive breakdown because there's not much. Kepler also grounded into a double play. The Phillies left 4 runners on base in that 8th inning, and they were 0-for-3 with runners in scoring position. For the Mets, Lindor, 2-for-4. Soto, silent night, 1-for-4. Alonso, 1-for-3, but he did score a run. And the big night, of course, Mark Vientos continues to victimize the Phillies, 2-for-4 tonight with the homer, 3 RBIs, a run scored. And, Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo, I don't know, man. I don't know why they come to play against us. And then Brent Batty, he also had himself a 2-for-4 night. So it was sort of the usual suspects. Nimmo was 3-for-4. So it was the usual suspects that kind of violated the Phillies tonight. Lindor, Nimmo, Vientos. The only one who really didn't get into the act was Alonso. But it was, part of the course there for the Mets. Mets left 6 runners on base, and they were a healthy 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. That's how it's done. Nolan McLean gets the win, 3-0, 8 innings of dominance, 4 hits, no runs, struck out 6, didn't walk anybody, 95 pitches through those 8 innings, and lowers his ERA now to 0.89. Wow. Raley comes in for the hold or the I don't want to lose this game moment in the 9th. Taijuan Walker lost 5 with 5 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs. They were earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 102 pitches through those 5 innings. That stinks. But as I said, and when I went on the rant about Andrew Painter being the savior of this baseball team, which makes absolutely no sense to me at this particular moment in time, I'll still take what he gave you. He gave up 4 runs, man. 4 runs. Your offense needs to be better than that. They need to be able to come back from a 4-0 deficit. Hell, the way this team is put together on paper, they should be able to come back from a 6-0 deficit, but they consistently cannot. So I'm not going to sit here and pat Taijuan on the back saying, you know what, you earned your 18 mil this year or whatever you break that down into games. I ain't going to sit there and say that, but I am going to tell him, listen, you kept us around. We did not do anything for you offensively. Nothing. And I'll take the performance, honestly. I'll take it. Robert, Banks, Trevino all pitched in a losing effort for the Phillies. Scoring summary, the Mets got it going in the 3rd with a big 3-run 3rd inning. Started by Lindor knocking in Beatty, making it 1-0. Then Soto would knock in Singer to make it 2-0. And then Alonso would knock in Lindor to make it 3-0. And the score would remain 3-0 until the 5th. When Vientos would start getting into the act himself, knocking in Alonso to make it 4-0. And then in the 7th inning, Vientos with a 2-run homer to make it 6-0. And there you go. That's how you get 6-0. And that's how you get another Phillies loss. A 3rd straight to the Mets. 0-6 on the season against the Mets at Citi Field. They will come home for the final 4 games, or 3 games, 4 games. It's 4 games set, right? The final 4 games that they have against the Mets this year in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for all the fun happening there, man. You are absolutely right. They are frauds and fundamentally not a good team. Listen, they are. I mean, I'm sorry that it might be somewhat of a revelation to some Phillies fans out there. And I know there's a large group of them out there that are sharpening their knives right now, getting ready to come at me. I get it. I have to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't understand why it's taken some fans this long to figure it out. I mean, they're frauds. They really are. They're pulling a fast one on the entire city of Philadelphia. Listen, on paper and maybe separately on different teams, they're not bad players, but something it's not working here, and it hasn't worked here for a few years. You tell me all you want about that baseball and that crap nonsense, whatever. You can tell me that. But I'm going to use these things right here, the things I have glasses on my eyes, and to tell me the real story. I don't know how much more I got to see of the team not being able to drive runners in when they're standing on they're 90 feet away. Hello, I'm right down here. All you got to do is hit the ball to the first base side, and I'll score. There's less than 2 outs. That's all you got to do. I saw the Mets drop bunts down in this series. I saw the Mets playing inspired fundamental baseball. Playoff-like baseball. What do the Phillies do? Runners on 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and they can't get anybody in. And it's not the first time. It's about the bazillionth time. How much more do you got to see? Even to the staunchest homers out there. How much more of this you got to see? I don't why I'm the bad guy, because I am telling you exactly what you're thinking, but afraid to say it. They're frauds, and they don't know how to. There is no fundamental baseball. There is no. So, Bohm on 3rd base, ball hitting the outfield to Soto, right? You guys remember this in the 8th inning? In the 1 of 2 chances that Bohm could have tugged and scored, but both times he didn't. The one to Soto in right field. Did you see the way Juan Soto positioned himself underneath that ball as he's kind of coming forward so that as he catches it, he has the momentum to drive his throw forward to home plate? That's how you're supposed to do that. Not what Max Kepler did the other night. Well, I don't even know what the hell he was kind of just, oh, I got the ball. Here you go. The way Juan Soto did it, that's the fundamental way of how to try to gun somebody down coming down the third baseline. I don't know if I'm here breaking news to some Phillies fans out there about their baseball team. I'm sorry that I got to be that person, but I know most of them are pretty intelligent people, and they know everything I'm saying. They have thought it. They're just afraid to say it for whatever reason, and I'm not here to judge. But you're absolutely. I agree. Reposted the stream. At least Alec Boehm gets hits. Yes, he does. Sure. Alec Boehm is an embarrassment. Trey Turner makes me sick to my stomach. $300 million for an average player. Please spare me on his numbers. Listen, I'm still a Turner supporter. I still think he's. I'm just digging the fact that he's leading off finally after all these years. But listen, I'm not going to single out, and that's another thing. And I know we want to do that, and I know there are players that you can do that too, that you could say you, and you. I know that, but if you got to weigh the options about baseball, Turner has been one of the more consistent hitters all season long, right? The problem is it's just not balanced, and it doesn't ever get balanced. When Turner struggles, somebody picks him up. That never happens. Or if it happens, it's very rare, right? You can't expect a guy to go out there and go 4 for 4 every game. You can't do that. And he had 5 hits the other one of these games recently. I'm not going to bag on Trey Turner, not especially this year, right? He's done his job. Those around him have not. And when he has not done his job, those around him have not. That's the problem. Nobody does anything for anybody. Nobody picks somebody up. The top of the lineup's raking, the bottom of the lineup isn't. The bottom of the lineup is raking, the top of the lineup isn't. I don't know what's going on in the middle because that's never been raking, but it's always kind of teetered on the top and the bottom of the lineup. One is working, the other one isn't, or they're both not working. And that's imbalanced, and that's been going on for way too freaking long to give me the whole that's baseball nonsense. That's been going on way too long. It's bad coaching. It's bad fundamentals. It's bad philosophy. It's bad approach. It's bad everything. They need it blown up. I'm not going to say they got to blow it because I don't think they can blow it up because there's too much money invested, and I don't know if they can get rid of everybody, but there's got to be change. And as I said prior to the trade deadline, there's got to be a change to the team's DNA, not Harrison Bader. That's not a change to the DNA. They need to go out and find a collection of players that do not fit what this team is doing right now. They need to find contact hitters to sprinkle in throughout the lineup to offset the power guys. That's what they got to do. So blow it up? They can't. Change the DNA? They can. It starts at the top, too. And that's a big story as well. Starts with Rob Thompson. The lifeless, again, holding a mirror under his nose to make sure he's still alive in the 7th inning. I've never seen anybody manage like that before in my life. I don't want Aaron Boone running up and down the dugout. I don't want somebody like that. I just want someone that seems like he's like involved in what's going on. Like he knows he's at a baseball game. I mean, does he know? Is Rob there? I need, because his team is starting to reflect that personality. But blow it up, I don't think they can. But they can change it. Bohm went 5 for 11 in the series, and he's your issue. LOL, dude makes $8 million a year, but he's the problem. Again, I'm not saying he's my issue. So when you scatter Bohm throughout the rest of his time here with this team, has Bohm been the savior of this team? Again, we're talking this thing individually. Baseball might be the ultimate team sport. Bohm's one batter in the lineup goes 5 for 11 in a series. If everybody else goes 0 for 11, what does that have anything to do with anything? Okay, Alec Bohm, great. But it doesn't equate to the wins. I don't care that Bohm went 5 for 11. I care that Bohm goes 0 for 11 and everybody else around him does. I need some balance. Don't jockey Bohm to me as some sort of Bohm is garbage, man. Bohm is trash. All right. He's immature. He's trash. He should be moved. And if you're going to tell me that Alec Bohm is the savior of this team, dude, we're looking at something totally different. Because I can count on my hand all the times that Bohm probably came up big versus I cannot count because there's so many other times that Bohm did not come up big and let this team down. And I can start with the 2024 playoffs. Is this the same guy that got benched? I can start with the I effing hate this place. Don't champion Alec Bohm to me. He's trash. All right. There's 1,000 more better third basemen. And maybe there's not collectively 1,000 more better third basemen, but probably a better player overall I need playing third base. Because if we want to start talking his defense, we'll be here all night. So don't champion his 5 for 11. That's great. When everyone else around him goes 0 for 11, or when everybody around Bohm goes 5 for 11 and he goes 0 for 11, which happens a lot, then where are we at now? I need balance. Throw somebody's numbers at me it doesn't mean a hill of beans in this game. He's one player. And that's the problem. One's hot, 9 aren't, or one's hot, 8 aren't. We should have what? God damn, I'm way behind. What a shit show the Phillies just played. They did. It's tough. They gave the Mets a jump, a shot to the heart. I heard Larry Bowa this afternoon says he's not worried at all. The Phillies are unbeatable at home. His arrogant attitude makes losing team. I mean, they play well at home, but they're going to have to go on the road at some point in the playoffs. I hate this team. Bowman's whining, complaining 2-year-old. Exactly, man. Yeah, but he went 5 for 11. He gave the Mets a rally cry too. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this thing, but they're all doing the microphone thing up there now. So yeah, Alec Bohm gave the Mets a rally cry for the rest of the season. There you go. Thank you, Alec. We needed that to happen. We really needed you to give a rally cry, even though our rally cry, win for Wheeler or wheels up, whatever it is, apparently ain't working anymore. But the Mets making a character out of a microphone because of what Alec Bohm was bitching about a microphone has now galvanized the team. Okay, but Bohm went 5 for 11 in the series. That's right. You went 5 for 11, folks. This was embarrassing. We gave them the momentum. Exactly. They had no urgency. Pitching is not the problem. It's Bryce Harper and his merry men not hitting. I could not agree with you more, Barbara. 10 hits in 5 innings is serviceable. How many runs? I don't care if they get 30 hits in 5 innings. How many people cross the plate? Again, are we keeping is it like a cumulative score? Do they add up the runs and the hits? No, I'm concerned about the runners that cross home plate. And 4 runs that he gave up should have not been insurmountable for the 4th highest payroll in Major League Baseball. I don't care he gave up 10 hits. Give up 100 hits. Give up 4 runs. That's what I care about. And you should be able to come back from that. Joe, you weren't there, were you, for that? Did you go to the game today? If you did, I'm sorry. Rob Thomas after the game will say, that's baseball. We bounced back. The pitcher was really good. Yeah. Okay, let's change Justin Crawford. Why isn't he up? Well, if you watched the little interview I did with Jack Fritz yesterday, Jack will tell you there's no need to bring him up because Brandon Marsh is fine and Justin Crawford can't do nothing to help us in a pennant race. Now, I vehemently disagreed, and I championed the cause of Justin Crawford by saying, essentially, you're telling me that what Brandon Marsh is providing, or with a combination of Marsh, Kepler, and Bader is providing, Justin Crawford cannot provide the same amount or more, and he said yes, that he couldn't. So I agree. I don't know why Justin Crawford is here. And then, of course, I threw Johan Rojas being called up during the 23 from Double-A. And Jack said, well, that was different because we needed them. I think we need Justin Crawford. I agree with you. If you're asking me if there's somebody we got to call up, if I woke up tomorrow and found out the Phillies had promoted Justin Crawford from Lehigh Valley and Aiden Miller from Reading, I'd be a very happy person. Absolutely ecstatic. Because I can get behind that. I can get behind that because that's the infusion of the offense. Now, would it work? Probably not. Would they actually get a chance to play a lot? Probably not. But I would get behind that 100%. Yeah, bring it on, man. Let's go, Mets. Painter may have a spark. May give a spark. Can he hit? Can Painter hit? Can he hit? Can he hit? Oh my God. Pitching does win championships, so I'll give you that. Pitching does win championships, but we need hitters. All right. I need someone that can drive a runner in. Again, if Painter has some secret talent that they've been kept hidden from us all these years, and he's the next Ohtani, then okay, let's get him up here. He could DH. I don't know what spark you're wanting Painter to give you. I really don't. Yeah. What's the spark? Please inform me. What spark is Painter going to give you? I really don't know. Now, for the fact of a 6-man rotation, yeah, maybe you save some arms going down the stretch. Maybe I could be talked into that. But just out of the sheer necessity to bring Andrew Painter up because he's the missing piece, I'm not getting behind that because it's not true. Next year, maybe, but not now. Bowman the Crybabies. Yeah, well, again, I got nothing to say to that, man. Wake up. McClain handed Schwarber, and yeah, he pitched brilliantly tonight. Schwarber shrinking in big games. Schwarber and the rest of them too. He's not alone. Mets team, once you corner them in the corner ready to eat them, they go for the throat, and the Mets just did that. Now, hang on. Listen, I will give you the props. I won't give you flowers because I will never give another man flowers, but I will give you the credit where credit was due. I've said it repeatedly. I hate the Mets. I hate everything about the city of New York. Can't stand it. Wish it would go away. I'm from Philly, all right? But I got to give credit where credit's due. The Mets, the fans, everything about what happened over the last 3 nights smelled of a playoff series. The only group of people that weren't feeling the playoff vibe or were unaware of the playoff vibe were the Philadelphia Phillies. And they suffered the ultimate consequence. I will give you that 100%. There was a different vibe about that series. It had a playoff vibe. The Mets knew going into that series, if they didn't sweep, it was over in terms of the NL East. And let's be honest. Now, what we have to do is be realistic, though. Moving forward, we move on. We go back to Philly to play Atlanta. I think it's the Marlins that are coming in the Citi Field. We're going to go back on our separate trajectories. We're going to link back up in about 2 weeks at CBP for another very critical series. And it'll probably be as critical as this one was. Now, whether or not the Phillies and the Phillies faithful, because I know the fans and I know this group, they're going to bring the playoff intensity. Now, whether or not the team does, I can't answer that. And I really don't know. But I know the fans will. And I know it's going to be a playoff vibe. Now, the Mets will probably bring the intensity. And if the Phillies don't, then it's going to be another same result as this series. But let's not put our eggs before they hatch type thing, right? It's not over. Right now, if the season were to end, the Phillies would win the NL East by 4 games. But is there enough for me to sit here and be like, I'm just getting PTSD from the last 3 years of playoff series with this baseball team? Absolutely. Am I in on this baseball team winning a World Series? I haven't been all year, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to start tonight after this. But to sit here and say the Mets, listen, they were a cornered animal and they came out swinging and they decimated their opponent. But now they got to keep that intensity. Can the Mets keep that intensity for the rest of the season? Because the Mets are still playing catch up. All the Phillies got to do is win a series, and they've done that 27 times so far this year. I'm not concerned about them against the Braves. I'm a little concerned against the Brewers. I mean, the Phillies schedule in September is not the easiest one. So there is a chance. I'm not saying there's not, but it's not over. The Mets haven't won anything yet either. Phillies certainly haven't won anything, but they walked around like they did, and they learned a very valuable lesson. So I'll give you the credit I'll give you the props. I'll give you the applause, the tipping of the cap, all those things now. You deserve it. 100%. You handled your business. You sent a message to the Phillies. You sent a message to the rest of the National League, and you sent a message to the rest of MLB. Mets aren't done. But can they keep it up? Still got 29 soda games left to go. Phillies were also complaining about the Mets in the on-deck start. I saw that. So Beatty was sort of kind of roaming his way kind of, into the peripheral vision of the pitcher. Yeah, and that's true. He's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to stay on the on-deck circle. That's exactly where he belongs. No, and they were right to stop that. CB Buckner was correct to do that. It could cause a distraction to the pitcher. That's why the on-deck circle is where it's supposed to be, off beyond the peripheral vision of the pitchers. Yeah. Phillies already planning for the offseason vacation. That seems like to me at this point Mickey, the Phillies don't have the eye of the tiger. They don't. Do we need Apollo? Do we need to start watching nonstop Rocky movies? Or should I say, should the Phillies start watching? Should the bus ride back to Philadelphia tonight be a Rocky marathon for the Phillies? Starting with the original one, and they could probably get to halfway through Rocky what? Well, they probably get to the end of Rocky 1 by the time they got home. But should they start watching Rocky tonight? Let's try to get that eye of the tiger. But as Mickey did say, get up. I didn't hear no bell, and I haven't heard no bell. So the bell hasn't rung yet. So they just got to get up. Harper been one of, I don't like the Phillies. Yes, you do. Stop it. Braves are hot crap right now. Then they go they got Milwaukee, or they got Atlanta, they got Milwaukee, and then they're home against it ain't the Mets. Who are they playing next weekend? Is it the Dodgers? No, hang on. They got so Atlanta, Milwaukee, the Marlins, then the Mets. And then they go on the West Coast to play the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Or they go, wait. So it's the Braves, Brewers, Marlins, Mets, Royals. Then they go on the road and go on a West Coast trip to LA and Arizona. So forgot we have a West Coast trip left to do. Oh, great. Yay for me. Sweeping the Braves, Phils will be lucky to split. They need a 3 out of 4. They got to get 3 out of 4. Yeah, I thought it was the Marlins. Braves are scoring a ton this past week. Yeah, and the Braves, listen, the Braves come into this thing with nothing to lose other than be spoiler. And of course they're going to want to do that. Absolutely. The Phillies better not overlook the Braves. They better not. They don't have the luxury of overlooking the Braves, because God forbid they come out of this weekend in second place. That would be the ultimate slap in the face. Matty, don't worry. The Phillies will pad their stats against awful teams with minor league pitchers. Hey, listen, again, Barbara, and that's why I believe that this team wins ultimately out and gets into the playoffs. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going to win the division. I don't know. They probably will, but I know they're going to make the playoffs. But again, as you know, as well as a lot of other regulars that usually come in here, it's not about making the playoffs to me. And it's not about making the playoffs to a lot of Phillies fans. We've been down this road too many times in the last 4 years. It's about winning a World Series. And at least as I'm concerned, this team is not a World Series winner. And they haven't been ever, really. And they've not made the necessary adjustments to become one. And to get upset, and I'm upset. Of course I am. I don't want to see my team lose. Christ, we won 2 championships in 143 years. I don't want that streak continuing. But I got to be real about this, man. I can't sit here and tell you right now that I have any confidence in this team winning a World Series. Do I have confidence in them making the playoffs? Undoubtedly. Absolutely. Do I have confidence in them winning their division? Yeah, kind of. But do I have confidence of them getting and winning a World Series? No, I don't. And that hasn't changed since last year, since the beginning of last season. Because I haven't seen anything from them. They haven't made the changes. The players haven't changed. Nothing has changed. and you're getting upset with the losses, but yet when you don't change anything, can you expect a different results? I don't understand that. I just put 2 ticks behind home plate for StubHub for September 8th in the Mets. You know I'm going to make. That's the right attitude right there. That's the right attitude, because listen, this is what it's about, man. Ultimately, this is also what it's about. This time of the year, right? Now, I'm not saying here that this makes good TV. It does, but I could do without it. But we've just put the Mets back into this race, right? We got 4 games with the Mets coming up in about 10 days in Philadelphia. So now it's your turn, Philly. It's your turn to go out there and bring that same intensity, more than the Mets fans did, and turn CBP into Red October in September. That place should be shaking. You got to go into it with a playoff atmosphere. If your baseball team doesn't want to do it, you can't control that. But maybe you going in there uplifts them somehow and picks them the hell up. There's 2 things that cannot happen when they come here. We cannot let the Mets fans take over CBP. That cannot happen. And number 2, you got to bring it. You got to bring that intensity, because there's no place better. There's no place better than Citizen Bank Park in October. I think that's the happiest place on earth. And if we could bring that in September, we've already kind of almost half won this battle. So the opportunity now goes to the Phillies fans. You got to one-up them. If your baseball team's going to let you down, don't let your baseball team down. Go in there and bring that intensity. Bring what you bring. And only you can bring it. Trust me. Been around a lot of different cities, a lot of different fan bases. Ain't nobody bring it like the Phillies fans do, especially in October. It's not October, but that's just the calendar. We can make any day October if we want. And that has to happen with that series. And again, that makes for great TV. Matt, I will help you. Do what? I've been ranting about a lot of things. Let's go, Mets. Whatever. I can't believe I just said that. Matty B near the new name. Sorry. I'll be there tomorrow night at the bank. There you go, Joe. Man, Joe, well, just touring with the team there, Joe. Final word for tonight is embarrassing. It is. That is the final word tonight. But as Barbara said, we are almost an hour in. I got to get over here. Let's do the Broad Street bottom line. All right, tonight's Broad Street Bottom Line is brought to you by the fine folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, purveyors of such programming as this one, The Fighting's Final, the ultimate in Phillies postgame entertainment. Join me, Mike, Pat, Al, Steve Fuentes, as we journey through the baseball season game by game. This is our 4th year doing it, and it's been a blast ever since, and we got more games to go and more of a season left to go. It's another depressing aspect about tonight's game. I got like 29 games left in the regular season. It sucks. But it's the best 29 games left and the playoffs. But make sure you're checking out the Fighting's Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. But my Broad Street Bottom Line, plain and simple. You went up to New York and you got embarrassed. You went up to New York and again, I'll use a Rocky reference. What was it after Creed went back to his corner after the first round and Rocky won? And his manager looks at him and says, hey, he thinks it's a fight, not a show. That's exactly what happened to the Phillies. They were Apollo Creed in the first one. They thought they were going to go in there and just do what they had to do and float on by the Mets. Mets came out swinging with nothing to lose. Now, somebody didn't prepare this team correctly, the battle of the series. Somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do and that obviously is the manager's fault. But you had an opportunity. It's gone now. But that doesn't mean another one's not coming. But that opportunity is gone, and you blew it. And this is what scares me about this team trying to win a championship in a microcosm. You got to, when you have the opportunities, you got to make them count. And they did not. And again, it really doesn't matter to me that they lost all 3 of these games. It truly does not. It's the way that they lost these 3 games that really concerns me. The uninspired, unemotion, the bad fundamentals, just everything bad about how you could go out and play a baseball game that obviously one team really, really was into playing and you weren't. You did not rise to your opponent. And that's what's concerning to me, ultimately. And there you go. There's my Broad Street bottom line. Schwarber just said the Phillies hit the ball hard but didn't find the holes. These guys are in denial. Well, what else is Schwarber going to say, Barbara? We got embarrassed. I'd say it. They basically laid down and allowed the Mets to continue to own them. More importantly, they allowed the Mets back in this thing. He did disappear. The whole team disappeared. The Mets pitcher came up last week, and he already has more wins than Nola. No, I don't they both have 3? Nola's got 3 now, right? Didn't Nola win last time out? I think they both got 3. I hope they get the Mets in the first round. That would be good. Trevino looked good. Yeah, actually, he pitched there at the end, didn't he? I will help you with the live. Okay, the Phillies left the Mets shove it up the Phillies' ass. They did. Turner should be arrested for stealing money. $300 million for this clown. Yeah. The line forms behind Harper. Okay. If we're going that road, the line forms behind Harper. Michael, yeah, Trey Turner nearly hitting 300 and leading the league in hits is the problem. Yeah, I agree. I mean, collectively, he's done his consistent job. Not like maybe not like Alec Boehm's 5 for 11, but batting 300 for the majority of the season. I'll accept that. Watching them on offense is surreal. Surreal. That's a word. Duffy Waltham had the under. What's up, Ryan? When it was 3-0, you knew. Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. I will agree. I concur 1,000% with that statement. Oh, I thought it was over. I knew it was over. Who are the Phillies exactly? They dominated the Mariners, playing their best series in years against Seattle. However, in their next series against the Mets, their rival, they struggled at Citi Field and were defeated. They can't beat the Mets at Citi Field. Ryan, don't come at me with that nonsense. I don't want to hear the voodoo hocus pocus that Citi Field is cursed. All right, I don't want to hear it. It has nothing to do with Citi Field. Stop saying that. It has nothing to do with Citi Field. It had everything to do with the Phillies not rising to an occasion. And seizing an opportunity. They could have played it on, again, I've been saying, on the side of Mars. It has no bearing on anything of where they played this game. None. Okay? None. They didn't take advantage of an opportunity. And you mentioned the Mariners series. Absolutely. One of the better series they played all season long. Then they went against the Nationals, and it was sort of like a clunkier one, but they handled their business. There was no excuse for what happened over these last 3 nights. And again, the playoff intensity was there for about 3/4 of the people involved in that game. The 1 quarter that did not bring the playoff intensity were the Phillies. And that, to me, in a microcosm, Ryan, you've been watching this team around the same time as I have. This was too reminiscent of playoff series of the past. Way too reminiscent of that. And that ultimately is the biggest scare for me right now. Not that they lost and got swept. No. But how they lost and what the importance of this series meant and how they went down. That's what's scary to me. You're the manager. What's the first thing you change? If I'm the manager, what's the first thing I change? That's a loaded question, because there's nothing on this team that currently resides on it that you've not tried. Joe, I need more players. I need different players. And so maybe I would. If I was the manager, I would run into Dave Dombrowski's office, wake his ass up, because I don't know what he does, and be like, get me Crawford and Miller tomorrow. I want Crawford and Miller up here tomorrow. And they're going to play. Bohm's going to sit, and Marsh is going to sit. And I'm going to platoon sitting outfielders. And I'm going to let these kids play the rest of the season. That's the first thing I would change. That would send messages across the entire team that the Phillies aren't messing around, that no one's job is safe, and that we better get our heads out of our ass. They just called up a kid from AA and put him at third base, or Yeah, I'd move him back to third base because I'm not benching Turner. That's what I would do. Are we overreacting? They don't appear to be a genuine World Series contender due to their inconsistencies and streakiness. Their performance is heavily reliant on multiple players, and when some struggle, the entire team falters. It is a collective slump, and when it's bad, it's severe. The team's performance is akin to a seesaw with no middle ground. They only Where do I start? Kudos on the analogy of the seesaw. We do not appear to be genuine World Series contenders due to their inconsistencies and streakiness. Yes. Now, listen, Ryan, I'm not an idiot. I realize what the game is. I understand how to play this game. Okay. I get it. 9 players are not always going to hit every day. And they're all not going to go 4 for 4. I get that. But this lineup is so imbalanced. And what I mean by imbalanced is there's too many power hitters, or there's too many of the same type of hitters. There is no balance to even try to find. Even the contact hitters. And I guess you could call them Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott, Nick Castellanos. Those are the contact guys, right? They're not even really contact hitters. I mean, they're sort of caught in between two worlds, power and contact. The problem is, to me, it's too imbalanced. And when you try to move players around in the lineup and try to change up the vibe, you're not really doing nothing because they're the same type of players no matter where you put them. There's not enough change of pace guys. You know that football analogy, you have your 30 carry guy that goes up through the middle of the line, the Saquon Barkley type guy, right? That carries the offense. But then you get that change of pace guy in. Maybe the guy that runs in between the tackles or takes the edges, or is that slash and dash, the pivot guy. We don't have any of those change of pace guys. We don't have enough consistent change of pace guys on this team. And overreacting, again, Ryan, I just gave you kudos for watching this baseball team as much as I have. What have you seen over the past 4 years that are telling you that you're overreacting or that we are overreacting? You've seen the same product over the last 4 years fail, and we're overreacting? I think we're acting accordingly, or I'm acting accordingly. So I agree with what you're saying in its essence here, but it doesn't equate to the team because there's no change that you can do to spur on different types of players. Now, if you took a Crawford and a Miller and infused them into this lineup, those are change of pace guys. They're not power guys. They're contact hitters. They're speed guys. They're going to try to leg out a single or maybe drop a drag bunt once in a while. That's the change of pace guy. That's the guy that needs to get on in front of a Schwarber or needs to get runners over to second and third instead of on first and second to set up Schwarber or Harper for the double or the single to right field. That's what I mean. And we don't have any of those guys that can do it consistently. I don't know I have not known what Bryson Stott's role in this baseball team has been for the last 2 years. He's another one I'm done with. Alec Boehm, what is he? Nick Castellanos, what the hell is he? That's the issue. We know what Turner is. We know what Harper is. We know what Schwarber is. We know what JT is. We don't know what those other players are. And that's the problem here. Because you can't really put them properly in the lineup. Because 1 minute they're power guys. Next minute they're contact guys. The next minute they're swinging at pitches 58 feet off the plate. I agree with what you're saying. The problem is there's no balance to this lineup. There's no balance to this roster. Matt, if you were a manager, how would you set the batting order? I don't like the two lefties. Again, so the left and righty thing, it's out the friggin' door for me, man. I'm done with that nonsense. We need to put power where we can see. If you're asking me traditionally, if I had a balanced lineup, I could set it. But this lineup, I don't know. I like Turner leading off. I don't like Harper batting, or I don't like Schwarber batting second. Schwarber needs to bat fourth. Now, the problem is you got Harper at 3. Who do you bat second? We are back in the conundrum of not having the right type of players spread out around this lineup. Can't put Stott up there because he doesn't make enough contact. You can't put Castellanos up there because he strikes out too much. You can't put Bohm up there because he doesn't make enough contact. That's the problem. We got a 1, a 3, a 4, and then we got an 8 and a 9. We're missing key elements of this lineup, theoretically. So I don't know. I'm going to tell you how I do it on the show. I'm going to give you my lineup on this show. Right? I always default back to this. Turner's leading off. Bohm's batting second. Harper's batting third. Schwarber's batting fourth. JT at 5. I got JT at 5. I got Castellanos 6. Marsh 7. Stott 8. And in my game, the pitcher still plays. I got the show 21. So I got my pitcher batting 9. That's how I set my lineup. Unfortunately, they're not playing like my team does in this show. All right. But that's, I guess, in a perfect world, how the lineup would look if they all batted the right way. But I don't know, man. I honestly don't. Imbalance you up big time. 100%. Please save me with the numbers. Turner is trash. Fire Thompson. Doubles contact guys with patient, disciplined approach and how best prevents Bobby Brady style. Absolutely. We don't have any of them. Absolutely. Bohm is the problem. He's like a child with his nonsense. Yes, he is. Fire Thompson. I agree with that, but he's not the whole problem. Bohm is batting 285. People wanted to run him out of town, but make no mention of Scott Martin. I just went on a freaking rant about all of them. They all need to go. There's no saving any of them. We got to change all that around. Bohm, Marsh, Stott, Castellanos gots to go in the offseason. We got to get them out of here. We got to get more balanced hitters and a balanced lineup. And those players got to go. They do. I mean, we're never going to get over this being the same thing every year until we change the DNA of this team. And those individuals right there are a huge part of the DNA. Now, what does that do to the team collectively? Does it set them back? I don't know. I still think we have enough pitching, even with the uncertainty around Wheeler heading into 26. I still think we got enough pitching. And then you add Painter into the mix in 26. And then you add Crawford into the mix in 26. And then hopefully at some point during the 26 season, you do add Miller. We need to go forward and we need to change the DNA of this baseball team. You're not going to be able to get rid of Harper. Now, as far as Schwarber and Real Muto go, and now Ranger, we talked about this is going to be a messy offseason for the Phillies. They got a lot of big decisions to make. And Dombrowski's going to have no choice but to change this team, or by his actions, if he re-signs all three of those guys, not only is he telling the Phillies, but he's telling you, the fans, we're running this thing back again. And I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. But that's a conversation for a whole other day. When a team scores, it seems most of the runs are when they are already up by a lot, not close games. Absolutely. Again, you're not breaking new evidence here. I've never seen an offense go some complete cold like this one. And constantly, just all the time, man. You know, where is Andrew Painter? He's in Lehigh Valley, where he belongs. Not part-time, fills in on the bench. Fourth highest payroll, they should give some of that money back. I agree. Do you think McLean gave the Mets a spark the last 3 starts? I think McLean pitched well. Listen, it's not that hard to give that pitching rotation a spark. The Mets pitching rotation, the Mets would literally kill to take the 5 pitchers the Phillies have right now. And I'm not including Wheeler in that. If we said, hey, you guys can have our 5 pitchers, you give us your 5, the Mets would do that in a heartbeat. It's a whole other situation right there with the Mets. The Mets have no pitching. Right? Now, if Andrew Painter was playing for the Mets, if he was down there in Syracuse playing for the Syracuse Mets, yeah, maybe you would probably see Andrew Painter in blue and white pinstripes. It's a whole other situation, though. Pitching is the Mets' problem. It's not ours, even with the Wheeler thing. He's making $300 million. Marsh, others not getting superstar money, but it's not giving superstar performance. Why so many people defending this guy? Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing with Turner, and again, I agree. All right, Turner's had a rough go of it here over the years, right? And this has probably been his most consistent season since he's been here. But you got to look at things realistically. If somebody would offer me something for Trey Turner, you're damn right I would ask. I would be interested. But nobody's taking Turner and the money and the contract years. No one's going to do that. And I'm not sitting here telling you, well, then you just have to like Turner. I'm not. But if you look at all that he's stuck here because no one's taking that money off our hands and he's batting over 300. I'll take that because he's not going anywhere. It's not like we're showcasing him for a trade or he's showcasing himself to hit free agency. He's stuck here. So I'll take the 300 over what he's put in years past. That's how I look at the Trey Turner. And Trey Turner is a leadoff guy for my team right now. He is the least of my problems in that lineup. I think they're taking on their manager. I agree with you. Do the Phillies even know where there was a game tonight? I don't know if they knew there was a game all the last 3 nights. Matty, the Phillies are the favorites, not the Mets. Let's not play the underdog thing again when it's not true. I agree. 100% the Phillies are favorites. Mets have the hardest schedule, I believe. 4th highest payroll, but not exactly a lot the GM can do. Again, I agree. There's not much you can do. And that's what I just said about trying to change the team's DNA. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. You might be screwed. You might have to re-sign Schwarber, Ranger, Suarez, God damn it, and JT. You may have no choice because you may not be able to significantly change this team. You may have no choice but to run it back, and you better run it back the best way you can, and that would be with all of them back, not letting those 3 go. You're right. The Phillies are in an interesting conundrum this offseason, and that's going to be conversations to keep us warm this winter. Absolutely. But I'm not ready to go there yet with it. I agree they haven't made the changes to be real serious contenders. I agree. Yes, they haven't. How far behind are you, Matt? I don't know. I'm like halfway down the page. Rob said on the postgame the team has to flush it. The toilet might be getting clogged. The series of one of Houston are at the low points. Yep. Joe Hale's throwing a block. Right? Maybe if Ron wears Speedo, the Phillies might win. Maybe if Rob wears Speedo. 90+ stolen bases between Crawford and Miller this year. Yeah, bring it up. Yeah, Aiden Miller set a record down there in Reading. The first Reading fight in Philly to swipe 50 bases in a season since 1987, I think they said. Yeah, man. Now, realistically, Aiden Miller doesn't need to be anywhere near this baseball team right now. No. Realistically, he needs to finish in AA, start next year in AAA, and we go from there. But if you're asking me how to shake things up and I can do whatever I want and the GM will let me do whatever I want, that's what I'm doing. Give me Miller and Crawford today. I'll shake the shit out this team with them too. Absolutely. I can't fight you there. Can't fight you there. Bryce Harper runs the Phillies organization. I disagree. Trey has the most hits in MLB, not just the ML. Yeah, again, he's the least of my problems. You hit the nail on the head, though. They got to bring out Crawford or Miller and see if they can infuse a spark. That's all you can do, really. I mean, you can't make a trade. All you have left is internal. Maddie, I'm tired of JT. Somebody try somebody else. These players only their average in streaks, no balance. It will be a low when the players go on a big streak to raise their average and runs better. Listen, we are I'm over an hour on the postgame show. Let's go around the bases. Jeez. All right, let's go around the bases on this Wednesday night in Major League Baseball. I am sorry, you guys got me way off on this. First, let's talk about the games that have gone final. Yankees all over the Nationals in the Bronx, 11-2. It was the Braves all over the Marlins, 12-1. We welcome the Braves in on Thursday. It was the Guardians, 4-3 over the Rays. In 10 innings, it was 4-3 Mariners over the Padres. In Baltimore, 3-2 Red Sox winners. It was 9-8 Blue Jays topping the Twins. Out in Milwaukee, it was 3-2 Diamondbacks over the Brewers. 12-1 Royals over the White Sox. I wonder if anybody actually went to that baseball game. 2-1 Pirates over the Cardinals, and 4-0 Astros winners over the Rockies. Games that are still in progress out in Texas. It is 20-3. The Rangers all over the Angels. The Rangers all over the Angels in the top of the 8th inning. 4-1 Dodgers over the Reds in the top of the 7th. And in San Francisco, it's 4-3 Giants ahead of the Cubs, top of the 4th. And out in Sacramento, it is 3-0 A's over the Tigers. They're going to the bottom of the 2nd. And there's your trip around the bases on this Wednesday night. The Phillies will welcome in the Atlanta Braves on Thursday for a 4-game series. Cal Quantrill will get the nod on Thursday night, and he'll open against Aaron Nola. Need another solid start from Nola, as we got to get this thing back on track. So that's at 6:45 at the bank for those of you that are keeping track at home. And standings, yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's take a look at the standings updated on this Wednesday evening right now. In the National League East, big story is the Phillies now are only 4 games ahead of the Mets in National League East play. In the National League Central, it is the Brewers pretty much sewing that bad boy up, 6 games up on the Cubs, and a good race going on in the West. The Dodgers are back in first place for today, 1.5 games over the Padres. And that's your look around just the National League divisional leaders race in the standings on this Wednesday night. Here, it's, of course, 6-0 Mets all over the Phillies. They sweep the Mets out, and Phillies will now try to push this behind them and get ready for the Braves for the next 4 games. These players only average in streaks, no balance. Rays. Why are the Phillies the only organization that ever brings up the young talent? It's a great question, and that's a valid question, because I've never seen an organization so hell-bent about not bringing players up. Now, it could have something to do with the fact that it took years to rebuild the organization from the farm. And maybe they're just not ready to unveil it to the world, and they don't trust themselves yet. I don't know. But let's not forget, this farm system was shambles just about 5 years ago. They've done a lot of good work down there to get it back to somewhat, relevance. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't feel like it's ready. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a great question. I have no idea. And I wish somebody would tell me that too. This is a good show, Maddie. Thanks for the fight, Phillies rehab. That's what I'm here for, Barbara. 6-0 Phillies lose. I am now 30-18 as your host of the Fight Final this year. Still stuck there in second place behind Mike Lauro, who has not done anywhere near the amount of games that I have, but he has won more. So he's got a higher winning percentage than I do, which I don't know. I got to change the rules on that heading forward next year. Tired of coming in second place and with a 48-16 record. That doesn't make any sense to me. But Phillies lose 6-0. They get swept. Folks, we got a divisional race in the National League East. We got one. We didn't want one. We shouldn't have one. But the reality is we got one. The Mets are just 4 games back, 29 or so left to play. 4 games at hand left with the Mets on the Phillies season. Phillies will open a 4-game set against the Braves over the weekend, try to get this thing going. And here on the Fighting's Final, we got you covered, as here once again is your weekend lineup. This is what the Braves series will look like. Mike, Al, and I got you on Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you're back, and we can have some fun. And hopefully the Phillies are back, because we need to get back in the win column very soon. I will not be on with the final word. There is no final word tonight. As you can see, I'm doing this, and I've been on over an hour, so I've taken care of my final word requirement. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for calling me a winner. I appreciate that. I will see you guys later. You guys have a good night. We'll talk. I got you on the final over the weekend, but I will be back tomorrow night for the final word. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. And we got 3 shows tomorrow. So make sure you're back for the Attacking Third, Fighting's Final, and the Final Word. A lot of finals on this day and network. That's interesting. But we'll talk then. You guys have a good night.